we'll lay down. We'll lay down on the ground. So, and getting yourself into any kind of reclined position that feels just right to you. We're just going to take a little bit of time to show up. Not just physically, but also mentally. Right. Well, as you get yourself set up, let's take a moment to do the little wiggly, ritualistic kinds of movements that you like to take before we settle into some amount of stillness. And notice how you've chosen to arrange your physical body. And here we are. Good morning, I'll see you, Elizabeth. We're just starting in any way that feels right, reclining on your back. And let's think about taking maybe like a solid 20 to 30 breaths here, nice and full. Good, feeling those lungs filling and emptying. Good, and noticing the sound of your breath. Good, and nothing expected of us as we begin just observing ourselves and taking time just to hear and feel. And just touching into our senses. And it might be kind of nice to feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice if you feel cool or warm, the temperature of your body. And then for these last 10 breaths, let's feel the temperature of the air as it enters in through the nostrils, hopefully. And as you exhale, however you want to exhale. Good, finding that in-breath through the nose if you can. Yeah, the exhale, just feel your body touching the ground. Alrighty, good. Last couple breaths, nice and big. All right. Good. And then from here, we're going to actually do some grip work while we're laying down today. Maybe a little weird, but why not? Let's give it a try. We're going to grab a hold of that tennis ball and just place it in your right hand. And then that left arm's relaxed, right? Maybe your right arm is touching down to the ground, the entire length of the arm, but we're squeezing with that right hand. We're squeezing with the thumb and the index finger, and we're squeezing that middle finger into the tennis ball, and then also that fourth finger, and then even that little finger. And even that little finger connects and squeezes, and we hang on to this while softening the left hand, right? While softening the face, and while feeling the ground. Feel the ground, let your body get heavy into it. That right hand continues to grip. And just another breath or two here. All right. And then go ahead and just pass the tennis ball over to your left hand. We're going to take that right hand back behind the head. The elbow's going to splay out wide. And we're actually going to use our head, roll our head side to side to massage the palm. Oh. Oh, steamrolling your palm with your own head. Just a few breaths. Oh. All right, and then just arrange that right arm however you want to. Maybe it's sort of alongside, almost like Shavasana. We're gonna squeeze the heck out of that tennis ball with your left hand now. And like, obviously, when we're squeezing that tennis ball, the wrist and the forearm want to be involved, right? They're like very closely connected. All right, maybe the biceps and the triceps try to get involved. That all makes sense, right? The shoulder. But can we avoid like the intense gripping that we have in our hand? Can we kind of take some steps or become aware so that it doesn't spread so far up? Right. So feeling that normal amount of tension in the arm, but nothing too intense. Right. Wiggle your jaw around. Right. Grip and squeeze here. We're not just holding opposites in our body, right? Softness and effort, but also all that like weird gray area in between. Right, the effortful softness, the soft effort. Good, just a few more breaths here. Feel the ground. Okay, and then just go ahead and release that tennis ball down to the ground. We're going to take the left hand back behind the head now, and same thing as you rock your head from side to side. Just feel the surfaces of your palm, all of your fingers, kind of getting that pressure massage. Ah. Good. One more breath here, rocking the head around, feeling the fingers, feeling the palm. Ah, good. And then go ahead and just release. Okay, so into constructive rest. Let's take the left ankle on top of the right knee. Okay, we're gonna spend just a moment here, and I think like a gentle wobble of the lower body side to side could be nice. Kind of walking that pelvis away from the shoulders to create that axial extension of the spine, that lengthening of the spine. Good. When you feel good and ready, go ahead and drop the entire lower body over to the right, finding your figure four twist. And then see if you can take your right hand onto the left side of your lower belly and maybe tuck your left hand underneath the left side of like the middle of your back. Yeah, kind of lifting that left hand up and pressing that right hand down, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, do whatever. It's all good. And so a gentle opening and twisting through the belly. All right, you can choose to keep your hands there, or you might decide to take your left fingers and kind of like scratch or tap or press or massage all around the left side of your ribs. Right, you might decide to, make quick movements here, or maybe it's real slow and easy. We'll just spend the next like 30 seconds or so moving that left hand around the left side of the ribs. Yeah, that massaging is going on, but the rest of your body, super soft and heavy. Nice big breath. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's come on out of this nice and slow. And I'm thinking like a little knees in might feel good, right? Knees in towards the belly, or maybe like wide to frame the upper body. You might want to have your legs out long though in Shavasana. It's totally up to you. And I think we'll just spend like a good, 5 more breaths here in between sides. Remembering that any movement that you want to take or any stillness that you want to find is welcome here. All right, perfect. Yeah, and then let's set the soles of the feet down to the ground. Just gonna take a second to feel constructive rest. Ah. All right, and then let's take that right ankle on top of the left knee. And another opportunity for just some gentle kind of wobbling of the lower body, little rocking. Perhaps walking the pelvis like downward away from your shoulders, just to lengthen out the spine a little bit. So when we lengthen out our spine, we're not just lengthening, bones and like cartilage. Obviously, we're lengthening muscles that support the spine, tendons and ligaments, and then also nerve tissue. Right. And I guess also the internal part of your spine that houses your spinal cord and your brain that contains all that fluid, right? All the cerebrospinal fluid that runs all the way up and down, right? From your sacral area all the way up around your brain. Just take a few more moments to move here. As if we can encourage a little bit more movement of that fluid, a little bit more stretch of the nerve tissue. And then eventually let's drop that lower body over to the left. And if you wanted to take that like self-assist, that little bit of like a hands-on practice, the right hand is going to touch into the right side of your mid back. And that left hand will just kind of press downward into the left hip. It's like you're lengthening out the waist a little bit here. I'm just taking some deep breaths and noticing how you feel as you sink into the ground. Excuse me. Good. At any point in time, you could commence the scratching, massaging, pressure, or whatever type of right hand to right ribs movement you would like to take. Okay, for some folks, it's like tapping or drumming feels best. Yeah, so just do whatever feels right to you. Hang in for like 30 more seconds. And notice what the rib and diaphragm area feels like from the inside. Tenderness, warmth, whatever comes up. All right. Good. And then let's take a moment just to come on out of this. Come back through to the center. And then let's slide the legs out nice and long. And we are going to do a good amount of bouncing and shaking and all of that today, just to kind of stir things up a little bit. And yeah, we'll begin just with the Shavasana wobble. So with the heels digging into the ground, let's pump the feet quickly enough, while the rest of the body just wobbles and wiggles and kind of follows along. The rest of the body is fairly passive here. Okay, feel your head kind of nodding yes. Feel your collarbones move this way and that way. And the hands kind of flop around a little bit. See if your wrists move. Good. Noticing your shoulders, your heart. Good. Notice and feel the belly, the low back. Your glutes, thighs. Feel your knees. And then your calves that have been working so hard to kind of propel this movement. Notice your feet and ankles. Feel your toes. And then let's stop. And we'll take 5 breaths here, just feeling the body, feeling the buzzy body. Yeah, right? Big buzz today. Good. So feeling your buzzy body touching the steady ground. Feel the ground underneath you. All right, good. I think we're gonna do just a couple more things lying down. We'll use a bolster next underneath the back of your pelvis. And if you don't have a bolster nearby, blocks could certainly work. One underneath each butt cheek. We just want to have a stable surface for the back of the pelvis. Or I don't know if stable is the right word, but we want to have like a broad surface for the back of the pelvis. And then from here, we're going to keep that left foot on the ground, but we're going to reach the right foot up. And we're just going to start to think about this idea of like making circles. All right, circles with the right ankle, and maybe circles with the right knee and the right hip. Right, and this is a little bit more of like a vague cue, but I don't know, man. Do what works in your body, do what feels right to you. And maybe also, as you're taking these circles with the joints of that right leg and hip, noticing what you're avoiding, what you don't quite like, what feels iffy or off. Right? The good news is that when we practice making circles like this, and there's no like weight bearing on the joints, there might be a little bit more freedom of movement. Right? Maybe. So take your time, about like another minute or so, just to explore circles and arcs and spirals and all that good stuff. Yeah. Don't worry about having things aligned. Don't worry about any of that. Try to just notice and feel the joints, your own joints on this morning. And then let's think about taking that right leg, and we are going to now hover it above the ground. Oh, and this is annoying objectively. Like just holding something up for any amount of time kind of sucks. Mentally, but like physically, our bodies are like, yes, and our nervous system is like, yes, because it reminds us that we are strong and capable. Right, see if you can do this while like ungripping your jaw and softening your eyes. We'll just take a few more breaths here. No big deal, hopefully. All right. And then once again, let's cross that right ankle on top of the left knee. I'm going to kind of scoop my butt down a little bit and then figure four kind of stretch, dropping the lower body in towards the belly. And turning this into a little bit of like an inversion as well. Yeah. A big stretch for your kidney area, a big old butt stretch. Oh, just a few breaths here. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and set that left foot down to the ground. We'll unhook that right ankle. It's probably, I don't know, maybe you want to readjust where you are located on the bolster a little bit. We're just going to take it right over to the other side. So intuitive circling and spiraling and arcing of the joints, all the joints of the left leg, left hip. And this is my very cracky side, apparently. I'm like hearing quite a bit of noise. Just taking time to notice and feel and listen. Any kind of circles that are calling to you. Maybe those circles are real small. Maybe these are big, sweeping circles. Good. Maybe just another 30 seconds or so of the circling. Hmm. Yeah, and then eventually we're gonna settle that, not settle it, ooh, hover it. Hover that left leg out nice and long, about parallelish to the ground. Right, remember your knee might be a little bent here. You might be pressing down into that right foot to kind of stabilize the whole shape. Let's see if we can soften like up north in your face, in your neck, your shoulders. Maybe your hands are even kind of soft here. Good. Just another couple breaths. All right. And then let's cross that left ankle on top of the right knee and maybe scoot your butt down a touch. And we're going to draw that right thigh in, finding your figure four. Ah. All right. Notice what your low back feels like. Feel your tailbone. Feel your hips. And just another big breath here. All right. Let's go ahead and set the feet back down to the ground. And I think just for laughs, I don't know if it's actually funny, but maybe we slide the legs out long here. I should say maybe just for a moment. Let's see if we can slide the legs out long. And if that does not feel quite right in your lower body, that's okay. Keep your feet on the ground. All right, and then maybe, just maybe, we reach the arms out long past the head and just kind of assume this big stretch of the upper body. Yeah, and for a few breaths, doing essentially the opposite of chair sitting. Good. All right, lovely. Yeah, and then let's just rebend those knees if the legs are out long. We're going to slowly begin to kind of walk the butt down, walk your butt down, so that now your butt's down. Let's see here, like just off of the bolster. Let's grab a block here too. Place the block behind your head. So now we're in this like big stretch through the torso. Good. Feeling the heart getting a big opening here, the front of the heart, I should say. And I wonder if you can soften your face and really let the head just drop nice and heavy into that block. The block can be on any setting that feels right to you. All right, so in maybe like a minute or so, a couple minutes, I'm gonna stand up and practice a little bit of fluid movement, moving through some Qigong. And, there's really a huge amount of theory and philosophy behind Qigong and how it works. But the long and short of it is that we are vital creatures, right? With chi or energy flowing through our bodies, and this chi is kind of what makes everything happen. Okay, it's like turning on the light switch. It's like yeah, it's like the electricity in the house, essentially. Right, keeping everything humming along. And sometimes the wires get a little funky. Sometimes, things stop working. And when we practice Qigong, the idea is that we're just trying to help this energy flow a little bit more freely through all the channels. Today, I think we're going to be focusing mostly on pelvic stuff. We'll certainly use our arms and hands because that's a big part of the practice. But for now, just take notice of your sitting bones touching down. Your low belly getting kind of soft. And notice and feel around the ribs, around the shoulders, in the chest, in the upper back. And then feel all the way down both of your arms into your hands. Our hands being the place where we can most readily sense that chi or feel the chi. All right, and then your head, just let your head be a relaxed kind of thing. Just take a couple more breaths here. And as we practice the Qigong movements, our mind is a really powerful kind of partner here. So we pay attention to our movements using yi or focused intention. And that's what makes it Qigong, is the fact that we are paying attention. But the mind is also kind of tricky, and sometimes it begins to like think about things as we're moving, and that's not really what we're trying to do. So maybe we just spend a few moments focusing in on our mind and kind of creating this intention to stay with ourselves as we move. Good. Another breath. Okay. And then from here, let's just kind of come off of all of these props. I'm like rolling to my side, coming to sit up, taking a second, sipping some tea. For the folks at home, I'm going to move this so everybody can see clearly-ish. Cool. Yeah, and then eventually we are going to stand up together. Please don't feel like you have to rush. Just going to spend like a good minute in Wuji, just in this empty stance. Maybe clearing your space of props. And adjusting to being upright, which might not feel like the most convenient or comfortable thing after all that laying down. Or maybe it feels awesome to be upright. Just take notice. We're going to think about stepping our feet hip socket distance or wider. We're going to soften those knees. We're going to draw the tailbone gently underneath, almost like you're kind of pressing your hips forward, but not in a really active way, just a kind of passive tuck the tailbone. Arms are real heavy and soft. Backs of the hands might point forward here. And then feel the tip of the tongue touch behind the top front teeth. And the crown of the head is reaching up. We're kind of building this from the ground up today. Almost imagining that we can take the energy of the earth all the way up to the top of the head as well. Steadiness. And let's take a few breaths here and just kind of feel your feet, and maybe as you're breathing, you might even notice a gentle rocking of the body here, front to back. All right, good. And then let's take a moment just to bring our hands in front of us for some ball holding. Maybe elbows are heavy and soft. And we're sort of relaxed through the wrists, And while we're holding this shape with our fingers are also kind of soft. And just beginning here to see if you can feel your chi. You're just knowing that this is a practice that can take a long time. For some folks and for other folks, they feel it like immediately. And there's no better or worse. There's just the presence, you and your chi, you and your body, your breath. Another few breaths here, noticing and feeling. Closing your eyes if that helps you to connect a little bit more deeply to sensation in the body. Okay, good. And then let's let those arms down. We're going to practice our swings today. Okay, so basic swinging here, both of your feet stay connected and the arms just kind of flop side to side like big heavy ropes. It's going to be helpful to keep your knees soft. Maybe your arms start to swing so wildly and so heavily that they clap into your own body. Good. So this might seem like a very simple movement. One of the things we're doing here is we are engaging something called the six harmonies. And essentially, what the six harmonies is all about is the relationship between sets of joints in the body. So the shoulders and the hips inform each other's movement. So do the elbows and the knees, those are paired. And then your ankles and wrists. So let's see if we can bring our attention into our wrists and our ankles. Just observe the movement there. And then feel the knees and the elbows together. And then feel the hips and the shoulders together. Good. We'll just take a few more breaths. Side to side here in this swing. All right, nice. And then from here, just begin to slow your roll a little bit. So you come back to the center. No need to force the stop. Let the rocking stop when it does automatically and naturally. All right, and then we're gonna take, this is called the bear. We're gonna take the hips around in this figure eight. And you could take hands to the hips. If you're feeling, I don't know, I feel like if I were to, I can't dance to save my life, but I feel like if I were to go somewhere and do this, it might look like I know what I'm doing. Maybe just a little bit. Right, and then the other thought is to swing the arms as you do this. And again, not overthinking it, but just letting those arms kind of move along with the body as it makes sense in your body, engaging those six harmonies. You know, and the other thing about six harmonies that I just love beyond like, you know, noticing and feeling the joints is this like full body coherence that happens. Where you begin to feel and notice that literally everything is connected within you. You can feel yourself from up top to the bottoms of your feet. Your whole body kind of working together. Okay, just a few more moments with the bear swing. Right, good. And then let's come on back through to the center again, just kind of slowing your roll.
letting it come to a natural stop. And let's just feel ourselves here for a second. Right, the next way we're gonna do is like maybe a little bit more powerful. It's not the Backstreet Boys one, we'll save that for another day. This is like, it's called Descending Back Fist. It sounds extra punk, it sounds like a punk band name, in my opinion. So essentially you are taking your arm up and across, and then you're dropping a fist down, right? You're tucking your thumb into your hand, you're bringing it across and down, across and down, across and down, across and down. Ha, right. So we're just doing this for as long as it feels okay in your body. Maybe you love this, maybe it's like not for you today. Right, notice that fist, and if it's like overly tight, maybe let it relax just a little bit. And there's this turning of the lower body as well. Good, so finding the 6 harmonies here. Keep this going for like another 30 seconds or so. And then you're just gonna let it come to a slow stop, which is a little weirder when you're dropping fists. And then let's just find empty stance for a second. Notice how you feel. Right, for better or worse, being there with your own body, noticing what it's like in there. Let's take a few more seconds to feel and breathe. Good. And then we're gonna work, or we're gonna play, actually, that's how it's referred to in Qigong, playing the moves. We're gonna play Cobra comes out of the basket. So we're gonna take that left palm descending in front of the left hip. We're gonna pull that right arm back, and it's almost like you're making a little mouth beat. And then you're gonna twist and reach that right arm forward. And then go ahead and pull that right arm back again into the beak. And then we're gonna switch hands. Right hand comes down, pull your left beak back, reach the left arm forward, and then pull the beak back again. And then switch. Good, pulling the right beak back, reaching that wing forward, and pulling it back. And we'll keep on switching and reaching and kind of drawing back and twisting. I'm just seeing how this feels and seeing if we can kind of get into a groove here. You're not worrying if you get a little lost or if things feel a little choppy, because guess what? That is absolutely the practice. And just keeping this going for a little while longer. And a few more breaths. Good, and then we're gonna drop both hands down and just notice and feel. Good. If your butt is gripping, let it soften a little bit. Same thing with the shoulders, let them soften downward. Feel yourself here in this empty stance. Your body fully alive. Here you are. Okay, beautiful. And then let's take our hands in front of us one more time for some ball holding. So this is an option, right? Ball holding essentially like right around the heart area. Another thing you could consider though is embrace tree, reaching your arms out in front of you and like holding a big ball between your hands and your chest. Right, everybody's a little different in what they like to do here. So for the next 10 breaths, let's just notice and feel what there is to notice and feel. Ah. Good. Is your chi making itself known? Or does it still feel a little tucked away in there, a little bit of a mystery? Ah. Good. Another breath, noticing and feeling. Great, and then go ahead and just release the arms down, empty stance. And we're gonna breathe in, reach the arms up and overhead, take a big stretch, and then exhale, draw the palms, which are facing downward, down the center line. All right, inhale, come on up. And exhale, draw it on down. Good, inhale on up. One last pull down. All right, sweet. And then we'll just take a seat on the ground, getting there in your own way. Ah, and I'm thinking for, I guess we have like about 9 minutes left, something like that. Thought maybe we would just like stretch our hips and legs a little bit and then have some time for seated meditation. So my thought is that we're going to use maybe a block, maybe a bolster, a couple of blocks for these forward folds. Let's extend that left leg out long and wide. And then that right knee is going to be kind of pointing over, sole or heel of the right foot in towards the pelvic floor. And then we'll just tip forward. Right, real easy-ish. Great, again, nothing forced. Just hanging out. Matt's over here going like this and looking real cute. Oh. Oh, cool. Yeah, and as we kind of settle forward for these next 10 breaths or so, you might like lower your upper body slowly down towards the ground with each breath. Or not. Maybe you decide to kind of stay upright, and that's fine too. And as you settle yourself in, feel your breath, feel the ground.
Hmm. Good. One more big breath in and out. And then let's come on up. And I think maybe extend both legs out long in front just for a sec. The hands might settle back behind you. And it's almost like you're, I don't know, I guess I just sort of like associate this movement with like sitting in the sand or something at the beach, right? Like leaning back, letting your head drop back. Ah, we're greeting the sky here. Ah, all right. And then when you feel like it's time, go ahead and come on back up. We'll fold that left leg in and we'll stretch the right leg out and just start to maybe like fold forward if it works in your body and feels like the place to go. Noticing and feeling the muscles and the bones. Notice and feel fingers, toes, jaw, shoulders. Maybe you start to like lower yourself down like one little bit at a time or not. There's nothing to be gained by forcing anything. So just feel into your body. See if you can listen more than instruct. Alrighty, last breath, folding in here. And then let's come on and either find a seated meditation or I don't know, maybe you want to lay down. I wouldn't tell you no. Maybe you want to lay down on top of your bolster and take like a nice big opening through the center of your chest. Maybe you want to curl up on your side. Maybe you want seated meditation. It's up to you. And again, just a little bit more time to cultivate yi or that focused intention. And interestingly enough, our focused attention is going to be on the contents of our mind. And those two things, interestingly enough, coexist or can coexist at the same time. So observing, breathing, and settling just for a few more minutes. Just a gentle reminder also that if you are in seated meditation, there could be the opportunity for more hand stuff as well, for some ball holding. Maybe you want to sit with a mudra, Anjali mudra, or some other mudra that you work with. Whatever it's going to take for you to feel focused and here.